Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Canuck. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important things are needed to be.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Monday, January 10th, 2022. And a big thank you to Orville Nation PJ with the $5 How's It Going super sticker. Thank you so much, PJ. Even if it did interfere with the lovely Nicole DeBoer intro, we'll make it work for today. We'll make it work. Thank you so much. Not Ryan Johnson was first in the chat with hello and Qapla. Hail Karoga, absolutely. And new shirt today, don't tread on Karoga. Don't tread on Karoga, if you can see it. I put it Ink Pixie. You can just fill in any word you want. So I don't sell them. I don't make money off of them. If you want one, just go to inkpixie.com and put in Karoga. There's tons of shirts. Excuse me. Dan Ben says, who is Sidney Frank? I know Sidney Portier died. Yeah, Sidney Portier did die recently. Sidney E. Frank was my boss and billionaire and died on this day, January 10th, 2006. He died on his private plane from San Diego, and they ended up landing in San Francisco, but the fact is he was pretty much already dead at that point. They landed in San Francisco. I think they took him to the hospital. I mean, whether they did or not, he was dead. He was dead before they landed in San Francisco. And unfortunately, he was one of the most generous and philanthropic people you would have ever met. Hell of a nice guy, and once in a lifetime type of person you'll ever meet. And it was a sad day for me and everyone else who knew him that he passed. He was up there. He was 80. He was in his 80s, and he had had heart attacks, and he drank quite a bit every day. Not too much, just he loved his business, and his business was alcohol. So he drank his liquor, his wine, his Jägermeister, his Grey Goose for a long time. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed giant cigars, biggest you could find. He had them custom made. He enjoyed his automobiles, though he could no longer drive. He'd have people drive him. He enjoyed his golf, although he could not golf. He would hire golfers and pay them to play for him. Incredible type of person. You wouldn't believe half the stories if I told you them. So it's probably better I don't, for everybody's sake. But he's a great guy, and I know most of you will never know who he is or was. Most of the planet will never know his name, but he deserved to be as known as anyone else. So I definitely, his birthday, October 2nd, and the day he passed, January 10th. And unfortunately, just the way my brain is wired, I more easily remember the day he passed than the day he was born. But I do try to celebrate his life on both of those days, say a little something about him, so that if somebody is new out there listening, they might hear him. They might hear me, and, they say that one way somebody is dead is when no one talks about them, or when they've been talked about, spoken about for the last time. Now, I think, it will be some time before he's spoken about for the last time, but I want to kick that can down another month or two every so often, so I make sure to say something about him while I can, while I remember to, on days like today. So that is why I had Sidney Frank's name in the video description. Thank you, Dan, for asking who he was so quickly. Nothing to do with Sidney Poitier, just a similar name. And it says that it's clean off your desk. Shouldn't it be clean out your desk? Well, clean out your desk is if you're getting fired. Clean off your desk is if you're just a messy person like I was. I mean, my desk at work was so messy that even though when we'd have people from outside the office come in, they would just close my door. The entire company had an open door policy. The entire company had open door offices. They would just close my door when they were having people visit, because it wasn't going to get. There was no way. They could just look at it. There was no way. The first couple of months, they're like, we keep your desk clean or whatever. You never know when we're going to have guests. You never know when we're going to have outside the office. Yeah. If I could keep my desk clean, don't you think I'd be doing that? Okay, I'm sorry, but I can't. When I was working, I couldn't keep my desk clear. And if you could see what's on this desk now, it's not particularly clear. But I tell you, more than once, I sent the links to HR that said messy people have the best, what is it? The messier the desk, the smarter the person, something like that. Albert Einstein and other people known to have the most messiest desks. you've ever seen. So. John Araki says, when is this National Make Your Bed Day? And he says it was 9/11. He Googled it. Oh, that's a grim day. Keely Chow says, hey, everybody. Qapla, Keely Chow. Jedi Bill says, hello, bird of prey. Qapla, hail, Karoga. Hail, Karoga. Hail, fellow warrior, Jedi Bill. Gap Stargate says, Qapla, Qapla, Gap. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. How are you doing, Mike? How are you doing? Are you still sheltered somewhere? I care about you. Chrono says, first. Orville Nation says, Gap. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47 Yorktown. Gap says, what's up to Orville Nation? Orville Nation says, hi to Jedi Bill. And Keely Chow hails to Orville Nation. Vincent Gallipo, Qapla, Qapla, Vincent. It's been a while. I hope you are well too, sir. Chronos says, Nation is here. Orville Nation, yes, Orville Nation's here, Chronos. And PJ, if you are still here, thanks for bringing up Prodigy on Doomcock stream last night. I saw it got my channel some attention. Greatly appreciate it. Chronos says, yeah, Nation is here. Orville Nation says, hey to Keely Chow. Chronos says, Qapla to all. Why is this frozen? Okay. Here we go. Commodore Ty. Hey, Commodore. How are you doing, man? I hope you're doing okay. I know you're working these days. If you don't get a link, Commodore, to a Twilight Zone or some other panel, please just let me know. If you're going to be around, let me know. I just stopped sending the link because I figured you're not there. You're working. But if you're ever around, please give me a heads up. You are always welcome back. I want you to know that. Pop Culture Curator. Hello, Pop Culture Curator. Formerly Super Blubberpuss. Says, hail, sir. Hope you and the family are well. Take care. Hey, Pop Culture. Take care. I hoped you could stay a little, but if you've got to go, understood. Keely Chow. Hail to Gap Stargate. Chrono says hi there to Esri. We all want to say hello to Esri. Chronos is saying Monday, Monday, Monday. I don't think you really love Mondays that much, Chronos. Orville Nation is laughing. Chronos says, all right, here we go. Gap is hailing to the chat and saying hey to Chronos, saying hi to Pop. Chronos is saying, please tread on Karoga. No, Chronos, the opposite. Don't tread on Karoga. That's the point. That's why I spent like this. Man, I spent like $25 on this shirt, Chronos. I don't know what I spent, but it was, I'm sure it had to be close to 20. Commodore Ty says, hope all are well, as I hope you are well, Commodore Ty. And Chronos says, he was a good actor, Sidney Poitier, yes. Vincent Galbo says, I hate Mondays as much as Garfield does. He certainly does. Chronos says, now he has to watch Sneakers again. Keely says, R.I.P. Sidney Frank. Thank you, Keely. Vincent Galapos, Qapla to Chronos. Chronos says, cheers. Orville Nation says, Sneakers is great. Sneakers. Do I not know the movie Sneakers? Possibly. And Darren Wagner says, hello, bird, in the voice of Mr. Snuffleupagus. Oh, man. I don't remember Mr. Snuffleupagus' voice. I think I remember Eeyore's voice from Winnie the Pooh. Are they related? Hello, bird. Chrono says, lick who? And Chrono says hi to Darren. Hey to Darren. Darren says, I prefer 60 shorter gouge cigars like Oliver Nubs. I don't know what a gauge. 60 gauge cigars? I don't know what that would look like. I know what Sidney E. Frank cigar looked like. They look like a Poland Spring water bottle in the cigar form, and maybe a little longer. Or, and like the whole room fills with smoke. Yeah. He was an awesome boss, Kronos. He was an awesome. And Darius says, the Deej raid. Is Deej still streaming? I don't know if he is. Deej, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I do hope most of the people you have stay with you. But if somebody came here, sorry, not sorry. But if you're not still streaming, Deej, then I thank you. I don't know if you are or not. Well, I hope you. Deej is here. Oh, Deej is here. So I guess Deej ended the stream. Thank you, Deej, if you did. Or if you're just making a trip to say hello, that's also good. Hello, Deej. I appreciate it. Deej has to have ended the stream. You get 28 people here and Salty streaming. So thank you. Kronos says birds will never see this. He's too slow at reading. Wrong, Kronos. I'm seeing it now. Yes, Bob Saget. Bob Saget loved him in Entourage. If you guys have not seen Entourage, the HBO show, I know it doesn't have great ratings, but I think it's an awesome show. It is very similar to how part of my life was under Mr. Frank. So I do think it's worth watching. And then you meet somebody like Bob Saget, and you get to know somebody in a way you never thought you would before. And Deej donated $2.49 and says, "Hail on Caroga." Hail on Caroga. Deej, you should get a. I don't know why it didn't break in with the video. I am going to assume it still will. It still might. Thank you, Deej, for Hail on Caroga. Although I don't think we need to hail on Caroga again. It's not tread on Caroga, not hail on Caroga, things of that nature. Commodore says maybe an hour or so, Kronos, you'll get to this point. I think I did it in less than an hour. Yes, rest in peace, says Orville Nation. Catman, aka D.D. Myers, says Qapla, to pray Qapla. Catman, hope you and the family are doing well and doing good. Thank you, D.D. I don't know about doing well and good, but well enough. Well enough. Kronos says that'll be a long hour. And Kronos says, I don't have a desk. He just leaves his shit everywhere. I did have a desk. In fact, I had 2 desks at one point. As if a second one was going to make it easier to keep the first one clean. Oh, it's like making more roads to get rid of traffic. It just doesn't work like that. Fluger says, do you smell bad? I don't think so, Fluger. I keep my not sanitation. What's that called? Hygiene. I keep my hygiene at a pretty high level even for someone who's stuck in their hospital bed. Darren Wagner with a $5 super chat. $5, Caroga forever. Let fly the poop of war. Absolutely, Darren. Now, okay, we did have something come up for Orville Nation. It obviously had interrupted. Oh shit, that's why. That's why I had it off. It was a different screen. Okay. Deej's donation is to come in for his $2.49 super chat. And Darren Wagner's come in for his $5 super chat. Con. Okay. It was a different screen. This is the screen I do my Prodigy reviews on, and I have to turn off the videos because I was in the middle of a review not recently, months ago. And it was probably a Lower Decks review or whatever. And I had this screen on, and right in the middle of my review, I got a message about somebody subscribing to the channel. And it was it's effed everything up. And I had to abandon the entire review and start over again. And so I was like, okay. So now anytime I start to do a review, I really make sure that I have turned off the Streamlab alerts for that day. And Deej had a second. I'm sorry. Deej was It's Raining Men on Caroga. That was the one that came in. His hail on Caroga. Yeah. Oh shit! His hail on Caroga is kissing Dax. Well done, Deej. Well done. I'm glad I caught that. Kissing Dax. Well done. What the hell was that? I got somebody. You have 2 super hats. Yes, Deej. I see it now. Thank you. I got it. Just in time for Deej to remind me. He has 2 super chats. Okay. So Kronos' bird is messy but not dirty. Messy but not dirty. Kronos says hey to Flug. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says Qapla, bird of prey. I understand your former employer gave up on cleaning your area and converted the space into a wildlife refugee. Not the same. Okay. I was perfectly organized the way I needed it. Oh, my house is extremely well organized. Kronos says HR equal Karens. Absolutely. Although, don't tell that to Ciso Prey, whose living is made in HR. So, be nice to Ciso Prey. ZDJ says, my desk is 100% pure ADHD. Now, does that mean that it's clean or that it's messy? Because I tell you, the guy I worked with, who was the IT director, I was the engineering and technology director. He was the IT director. His desk, immaculate. It looked like nobody ever worked. It looked like he never did any work. And to be completely honest, to this day, I love the guy, one of my bestest friends while I was working there. Smart guy, knows what he was doing. I don't know that he ever did any work in his office. And granted, you could say, well, his main office, his main work venue was our server room. And in the server room, he did all type of work. I know for a fact he could do what he needed to do. And he would do it in the server room. But in his own office, I suspect all he used it for was for making and returning phone calls. He didn't need to have stuff strewn about his office because I was the one doing stuff in my office. I was the one cutting and creating wires as we needed, and building shit, and soldering, and doing the messy stuff. I did all that. When our alarm system turned on for no reason, and we couldn't shut it off, I was the one who went to each blaring siren at 80 or 90 or 110 decibels and physically cut the wire so as that the other employees need not kill themselves to continue working in the building that day. I really pissed off the alarm company when I cut physically probably 25 or 30 speakers out of our various office spaces because the entire building alarm was going off. And of course, we made them replace them because it wasn't supposed to be going off like that. And they were bad at me. They were like, couldn't you just pull the speaker wire off? Now, I swear I tried pulling the speaker wire as hard as I could. And that wasn't inching, it wasn't moving at all. It wasn't budging. So I was like, I'll just cut it. But sure enough, when they showed it to me, now I couldn't see because these were mounted on the ceiling, mind you, and even on the and even at the time, as high up as I could get in a ladder, which granted wasn't very high, but it was high enough I could get my hands in and feel around. As high up as I could get, I couldn't see. I wasn't just going to stick my fingers on the circuit board to see what was going on. But I best I could tell, it felt like the wire was soldered right to the board. So I cut it. Now I thought, wouldn't it be smart if these were on a removable jack? But I pulled and I pulled and I pulled and it wouldn't move. So I just cut. And then when they came and they showed me what it looked like, yeah, I felt like an ass because it was on a removable jack, just like I expected it should be. But what was I going to do? I mean, understand, I was under the intense pressure of this incredibly loud siren going off just a couple of feet from my ears. So I don't feel that bad. Chrono says hi to Jeff. Commodore Ty says hi to Soul. Hi, Soul and Speedy. CDJ says complete chaos on my desk, but I've had it for 30 years. I believe you. I believe you. Tiki of Doom, Qapla Tiki. It is good to see you. It is good to see Tiki of Doom. Professor says latest of the very latest. What latest? CDJ says Bird of Prey, Qapla. He says, hail, Karoga. Hope you had a good weekend. Qapla, CDJ. I hope you had a good weekend. Akili Chow, hail, Doomcock. Absolutely. Hail to Doomcock. Mike Richards is Bird of Prey. I haven't been physically evicted yet. Looking for assistance. Okay, Mike Richards. I'm hoping you get something. Let us know. Keep us apprised, please. Mike, if you have any way, a phone or mobile phone or whatever you can do. Kronos is Qapla Captain. Apparently got some attention on Overlord's stream. He did. Captain Trek got some attention. I got some attention. It was a good night. Kronos says hey to Mike. Darius says Qapla, Darius. And I Qapla'd with the wrong hand. Darius says, hail, Karoga. Absolutely. Hail, Karoga. Kronos says, what happened to Blubberpuss? Lost to time. Commodore Ty says, hi to LDG. Very cool. Everybody's saying hi to LDG. Hey, LDG is in the house. Kronos says, Bird of Prey, how do you know what I think? Karogan fake mind control. It's not fake. The lovely Sherry says, Qapla, lovely Sherry. Dee Myers says, rest in peace to all we lost in the last 2 years. Yes, a special rest in peace to all the recently lost. Kronos says, Sneakers is a good movie. I don't doubt it. Professor Brainy Specs says Sneakers was a pretty good movie. Kronos says, lovely Sherry, did you just wake up? And Lovely says, no, she's at the mall. At the mall? Where are you that you're just going to go to the mall? Kronos says, Professor Brainy Specs, it was a good cast. And Kronos says, they still have malls. He remembers the mall days. I know. Apparently they do, Kronos. Apparently they do. Captain Moloko Spock with a nice box of warm popcorn. Enjoy the popcorn, Captain. Darius's bird Deej ended his stream shortly after you went live and sent everyone here. Well, thank you so much, Deej. I do appreciate it. Darius is waving to Captain Spock. Dee says, who needs salty? Kronos says, I would like some popcorn. I would still be using salt if I was allowed to, just to be clear. This is doctor's orders to stay away from the salt. Kronos has got salty. Captain Spock has some type of drink for you. Fluger is lolling at Dee. Professor is saying he's freezing. Is it cold again, Professor? I'm sorry. Commodore Ty says, why so cold, Professor? Yeah. Why so cold? And Kronos says it was about an hour. Gap Stargate says, hey to DD. Kronos says, oh, FYI, it's 4:20. It's 4:35 now. Oh, for those who partake. There will be no partakecation during my stream. Professor Rainey Specs is coming to tie, not sure. Been cold all day and I'm not sick. My temperature is actually a little low. Well, that could mean you're sick. Dee Dee Myers is howdy, great to see you. Says Gap. Wow, Gap. Great to see you. No. Gap Stargate, howdy, great to see you. Okay. I'm not crazy. Kronos' Poop Wars sounds like the last Star Wars trilogy. Kronos says, wash your hands. And wow, Darren is rich. Kronos says, Zoidberg. Cap Stargate yells, Con! Dee Dee says, Kronos, my money's on water pressure. My money is on water pressure. Got him. A lot of, yeah, whatever. Dee Dee says, Kronos just a little bit. Lovely Sherry puts in some very fancy artwork. Zoidberg and Kronos. Yes, it's a Zoidberg. It's a Zoidberg out of characters. Very cool. I can see it now. Kronos says Sherry is spazzing out again and she needs medical attention. No. She's quite the artist. Vincent Gallipo says negative 34 degrees Celsius tonight. Will freeze to death. Well, Vincent Gallipo, at about that temperature, that's where the Celsius and Fahrenheit scales are very close together. Very close together. Kronos says, I only play doctor on TV, but that's cold. I only play a gynecologist, says Deej. I don't think you'd want to be, Deej. I don't think you'd want to be. Kronos says, Deej is funny sometimes. Dan Ben says, hi. Deej says he's funny looking. Kronos says, please don't encourage the Deej. Darth Maul says, would the owner of a gentleman's club ever clear his desk? He'd basically be shoving women to the trash. Kronos says, hey to Dan Ben. Kronos says, hi to Maul. Darth Maul said, would the owner of a gentleman's club ever clear his desk? So Darth Maul is saying the only thing on a gentleman's club desk is women. I don't know. Did you ever see Sopranos, Darth Maul? Because they would have other things on their desks. Food, guns, bullets, women, cards, a lot of cards. Kronos says, I think Sherry could be at your mall. You were at the Green Acres Mall, the lovely Sherry? Holy shit. And you're alive? To tell the tale? She's from this area. The Green Acres Mall was off our list 10 years ago. 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Green Acres Mall. We go, don't get me wrong, Sherry. I mean, we're from Brooklyn, okay? We were going to King's Plaza all the effing time. But no. Green Acres? Hell no. Hell no. King's Plaza, yes. Green Acres, no. So I don't know. Wow. Maybe it has. Do they have a Red Lobster is the question. And if so, how many biscuits can you steal? Kronos says, now Bird is a cat burglar. No. Kronos never saw the show. Oh no, Green Acres is not a show, Kronos. It is a show, but it's a mall in this area. Darth Maul says, hey Kronos, sadly I don't own a mall, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn next to a mall. Kronos' brains are coppery. Dan Ben says, my Nan's bungalow has really sensitive fire alarm outside the kitchen and would always go off easily. Well, yeah, fire alarms go off pretty easily. Holiday Inns are still a thing, yes. Deed says my carbon dioxide detector goes off every time I eat chili or burritos. I don't think that's true, Deed. Kronos says, Bird of Prey, you were ranting for about half an hour. What was I ranting about? Yes, Mom. Mamo Prey is saying, Deed, you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, you have a natural gas detector. And that's true. I've seen a lot of that were 2 in 1. 2 in 1. You get the carbon monoxide and you get the natural gas for free. D says, I don't usually stay in a motel, but when I do, it has to be the Bates. And there's nothing wrong with Holiday Inns. Marriott's are better, but there's nothing wrong with Holiday Inn. D just saying he didn't get any attention. You got attention now. Darth Maul says, anyone see the movie The 355? Thoughts regardless of seeing it. I have never heard or seen The 355. So I have no thoughts to give, Darth Maul. I have no idea what it's about. Dan Ben says, some people returning from countries, staying at quarantine hotels, governments make you pay. Yeah, well, that I'm not surprised. I'm surprised where they don't make you pay. I am catching up, Kronos. I'm mustarding too. No, I do not like drugs. Dan Ben went to 2 doctors at once. They both say 2 different things for what I have. And I was like, what do I do? What do I have to do? It was annoying. Well, there's this ancient Chinese, and I don't know if it's true or not. This ancient Chinese saying, man with watch knows the time. Man with 2 watches is never sure. So, learn from the ancient wisdom. Learn from the ancient wisdom. 1 doctor at a time. Hail, Kitty Bear, Qapla, Kitty Bear. Bruno says the doctor gave him good news. Kitty Bear, crazy Dutch bastard, the shadow ban. Says Qapla all. Qapla, Kitty Bear. And Kitty Bear says, Bird of Prey, what is the worst Disney movie you know? I want to watch it because of COVID. It won't leave me with a bad taste. I can't smell or taste anything. Oh, Kitty Bear, I am so sorry. So sorry. You've got the COVID. And it's, you've lost your sense of taste and smell. The worst Disney movie. Well, probably be The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. I'll be honest, I generally don't watch Disney movies that I dislike. So it's not like I've seen a bunch of movies that I dislike from Disney, because I just wouldn't have watched them. So one movie that I did see that I disliked the most would be The Last Jedi, as I think it would be a pretty obvious answer for a lot of people, because it was officially Disney by that point. Kronos says, hey to Hector with a wrench. Dan Ben says, the mall in England is called the shopping center. John DeMarco says, so I guess you're saying Green Acres is not the place to be. Green Acres is a place to be. Goodbye, City Life. Kronos says, I miss Red Lobster. I do too, Kronos. Fluger says, Green Acres is the place to be. Kronos says, is it a show or not? It is a show, but not what we're talking about here. Hector says, hey, Kay, Bird, and Paracos. Deej is away from keyboard. He has an apple pie to bake. Lovely, lovely apple pie. Deej. Don't you. I hope you eat the apple pie, Deej, in the correct way. Tiki of Dooms is great. Now I have the Green Acres theme stuck in my head. Now we all have the Green Acres theme stuck in our head. And you're like, I don't know what the Green Acres theme is. Well, you will. You're going to Google it, and then you're going to be fucked. This is the place to be. Goodbye. Yeah. And if you really, you could Google the Donald Trump version he did on Saturday Night Live of Green Acres. That's hilarious. Kronos says hola, and hey, Mamo Pray. Mamo Pray. Mamo Pray says hello to everyone. And Kronos. Jedi Bill says hello to Kronos. Deej. Hector says my natural gas detector is called a nose. Kitty Bear says, or Deej can't cook and burns it. Dan Ben says, I once told you to play the Simpsons Tapped Out game. And well, I stopped playing it ages ago because it didn't give enough characters to make enough points in time to give and to get to the items in events. Well, Dan, then I will not feel bad telling you I did not ever get a chance to play it. I mean, I am aware of the game. I played it long time ago, but I haven't played it in long time. Darth Maul says, I've never seen Sopranos, but I've seen many things atop the desk of a gentleman's club. Well, you should watch Sopranos when you get a chance. It's some of the best TV ever made. Chrono says, yeah, The Simpsons got woke. Rip up who? I'm not cheating, Kronos. I always had the prerogative of only reading the at Berto Pray 5 comments. And we should all wish number one, formerly number one sci-fi, a get well soon. He has also got COVID for the second time and was headed to the emergency room earlier today. So please keep number one in your prayers or thoughts as well. Kitty Bear, obviously, too. I just don't want Deej, giving the American pie treatment to the warm apple pie he's baking. Kronos waves at Mama Pray. Kitty Bear says, I'm fine, got COVID as a side dish with the food I ordered from the delivery lady. Besides the not smelling and tasting, it's no worse than a little cold. I'm glad that it's relatively mild symptoms, Kitty Bear. Tiki of Dooms' only good Simpsons game was the arcade. Yeah, Kronos, number one's got the goof. It's a Dutch apple pie, son of a bitch, says Deej. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a Dutch apple pie is compared to a regular apple pie. It's got icing on top. Ah. Okay. Well, then I definitely recommend staying away from it, Deej. Captain Vision. Chronicles of Q by Jason Saint is, I don't know, waving a hand at eyeglasses. Lol. Okay. Qapla, Captain Vision, Jason Saint. Alpacas Assemble is here. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and check and see, do we have any deer bumps? What do we got here? Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says a Dutch pie, apple pie, was made in a Dutch oven. If you know what that is. Is that? I don't know if that's a required piece of it or not. Deej is unsubbing. I'm a great cook, and I don't hump that kind of pie. Okay, Deej. I was just saying to be on, just for your own sake. I didn't say you did hump the pie. I didn't call you a pie humper. It wasn't me. Okay, we got to fix this. Properties. One dear Bob. We have one dear Bob. Jason Saint says, Dear Bob, the epic beard has returned. Awesome. Although we don't see it, so. Dan Ben, have you ever checked Dear Bops to find none? Yes, dear Ben. Dan Ben. Yes, Dan Ben, I have. D just saying, she's my cherry pie. Dr. Alex's Qapla vertebrae. You are in a streaming war with Turtistan. I didn't start the war, Dr. Alex, but I will not stand down. Kitty Bear, Crazy Dutch Astard of the Shadow Band says vertebrae, well, not as long as it's not cow pies, Deej can hump all the pies he wants. Cow pies are dirty. You know what? That's pretty true. Actor says Dear Bob's ratings are worse than the Oscars. Well, I tell you, the content is better. Oh, it's Monday. We don't often get a lot over the weekend these days. I know the cherry pie. Cherry pie, yes. I know of it, at least. Hi, Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well. Here is another game you might like, and it's free to play. I've been having so much fun over the last month with it. It's actually winning in the big team battles. I don't know much about the Halo lore, but it's space theme and military like Call of Duty. I play with a controller, and I win more matches than I ever expected. Halo Infinite. See, my problem here is I never had Halo. I never had any version of Halo. I don't have the slightest clue how the game works or anything behind the lore of Halo. You have to be a Spartan. The future of Halo starts now. Bird is using a metaphor of cherry pie to talk about his sexual prowess. Only in that I don't think I've eaten much cherry pie in my life. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever had cherry pie. I'll be honest, this game looks pretty cool, but do I honestly think Heroes beta available now? I will keep an eye on it. Campaign arrives December 8th, 2021, and they're a little bit behind. They're a little bit behind. I'll keep an eye on this. Thank you. Thank you. Let's check out what's going on Rock Solid's modern retro gaming accessories. That I don't understand. Is he selling steak? Team Ribeye or Team New York Strip? How about both? How about both? Do we have any questions for him? Okay. Well, let's see.
Okay, Sassy, that's it.
Let's see what's going on with the Cuddlist com. And now these people are real Cuddlists. Unlike no soft putty jokes. Unlike that other company. No, I think it was mine. I'm not sure. Find a Cuddlist. Let's see. Who's the best Cuddlist in the state? Florida. Costa Rica. Oh, Holland. There's only 6 registered Cuddlists for the entire state. And one of them is in Vermont. Great. Brooklyn, New Paltz, New York, Queens. Virtual. Right. Okay. We've already gone over Rachel. Did we go through Hannah? I think we did. John Ellsworth, I think we'll keep going. Anthony, I think we'll keep going. Ella. And Delia. She's only trained, but they're certified. What's going on, Ella? $100 an hour. A native of Brazil. She's grown up in a culture where people are naturally affectionate and close to one another. I don't think living in a slum means close to one another, but that's okay. She's often told she has a warm and comforting presence, insightful and nurturing, and have great empathy for others. A visual artist and educator with a long-standing interest in holistic medicine and energy healing. She conducts her sessions large, comfortable sofa or a queen-size bed. I mean, so if they don't have bigger than a queen-size bed, you're out. Soft fabrics, oil diffusers, colorful lamps to add to the intimate and calming environment. And my beautiful, always clean home will begin to openly communicate our expectations, boundaries, and practice and consent. Oh, so we only have to practice consent? Sorry, I was just practicing. We'll try again. The session will progress organically as the client is able to identify and voice their individual needs. Cuddling can be comforting, insightful, and a catalyst for personal, emotional, and spiritual growth. My lovely apartment is conveniently located steps away from the subway. Well, that is not a very clean place, that is it. And although parking can sometimes be a challenge in my neighborhood, a parking garage is available close by. My fees are $100 per hour for in-person sessions and $80 per hour for virtual sessions. My practice is all-inclusive. I welcome men and women from various ethnic backgrounds and welcome members of the LGBT community. Is there a discount? Because I could be whatever. Clients' testimonials. Oh, wow. I felt supported during our sessions. A caring ear to listen to me during my time of stress. Maybe I should be a virtual cuddler. I can charge $80 and listen to people bitch. Hell, I listen to people complain right now. I felt emotionally better during and after our sessions. During and after. Sometimes I forget what was troubling me. In general, the whole experience. I felt better psychologically. The act of platonic touch did much in helping me cope with my physiological state. My restlessness reduced considerably, and I'm more calm and composed. My ability to remain in a state of positivity improved multifold. Through our sessions, I realized that I am lovable, and I can give and receive love. Right, and I'm supposed to believe these are true because you copied and pasted them onto your wall of lies. Okay, so if Ella charges $100 an hour, what would a dude? Not that I would go, but what would John Ellsworth over here? What do you think he goes for? $150 to $100 an hour, prorated for longer. You know what? I guess that's to be expected. pushing my envelope does not apply to the code of conduct. We can talk about anything and everything, but the safety of the session is a prerequisite. This service is non-sexual in nature. The bar I use for non-sexual is if there was an 8-year-old in the room with us, would you still be comfortable getting what you wanted out of the session? If the answer is no, then this is not what you are looking for. Oh my God. Why would you bring an 8-year-old into this? Some people might have different rules. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says the cuddling candidate had an always clean home, so that leaves Bird of Prey out. Certainly my desk would have scared her away. But I'll be honest, if she lives that close to the subway, she doesn't know what clean is. No, it won't be on camera. Especially since the camera is not on right now. Let's go back. It seems like we've got another Dear Bob. Dear Bob, I have this uncle who keeps wanting me to watch this show called Star Something. The one he wants me to watch was set like 4 million years ago in the 1960s. Has this fat guy, an old guy, and this dude with pointy ears. He then wants me to watch another star show with this old bald guy, a guy who wears a Fram oil filter on his face, and this other guy who is supposed to be an android. Then he wants me to watch a show called Deep Space Something, and it's just really confusing. The one show he doesn't want me to watch is called Discovery, and it's just so awesome. The main character is named Michael, and I want to be just like her when I grow up. How do I tell my crazy uncle he has bad taste in television? Signed, Charlie X. I don't know, but I think Mama Prey is getting her list out again. Or I could tell Mama Prey that Charlie X refers to a TOS episode, and that there's a character named Charlie X in one of those episodes. Okay, Mama Prey. Yes, no, this is not from Charlie.
Because he got a hell of a ride from the next few years.
Yeah, if he was able to write all this, I don't think I'd even be mad. I'd be impressed. I'd be impressed. Plus, I'd say he has a great sense of humor.
Oh, that he does.
Because he clearly, yes. It's clearly not true. He just likes to see me and you get upset. Charlie does have a great sense of humor, though. He hides things. He thinks it's funny. He laughs. Yeah, he does.
He fell
off the couch.
He said he was a bitch.
Fell off the couch. That is not good. America's dad, Bob Saget, also loved dirty jokes. He mastered both. Yes. If you knew anything of Bob Saget, you would know that the dad he played on Full House was like, definitely not the person he really was in real life. Not that he was a bad person by any means, just that he, like he and I, we could probably curse our way out of a situation. Even though some people don't think I curse at all. There are people who think I've never cursed in my life. They've never actually listened to me speak, but they just get that from me. IRS warns of frustrating tax filing season over backlog of returns. Because if you don't have anybody working, you don't have anyone to do taxes. I think we'll live. In a first, a man receives a heart from a genetically altered pig. I tell you, I know they've done pig heart transplants before, but this has been a genetically altered pig. Okay, even though it's the New York Times, I gotta check it out. No, I'm not logging in. Fuck you. Goodbye. Goodbye, cookies. What did I? Oh, shit. No. Okay. Erase cookies. Okay, here's the thing. If you go to a site through Google, they can't block it. Here it is. See, before they wanted to force me to buy, if you just go to Google and you put in the URL or the title of the headline or the article, and you go to it through Google, they have to show it to you because they can't hide it from Google. It would be against Google's terms of service to hide the story from me if I click to it through Google. So as long as Google was where I'm coming from, they've got to show it. I don't have to pay them for shit. So goodbye, New York Times, or anyone else, any other of these media sites that try to get you to pay to read the news. It's all bullshit. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. You just go to Google, paste in the headline, and you go to it. Surgeons performed an 8-hour transplant of a genetically modified pig's heart at the University of Maryland. School on Friday. See, I love it because you get the new heart, you wake up, and you've got a side of bacon waiting for you already. Nobody has to ask where it came from. A 57-year-old man with life-threatening heart disease has received the heart from a genetically modified pig. A groundbreaking procedure that offers hopes to hundreds of thousands of patients with failing organs. It is the first successful transplant of a pig's heart into a human being. The 8-hour operation took place in Baltimore on Friday, and the patient, David Bennett, a senior of Maryland, was doing well on Monday, according to heart surgeons at the University of Maryland. It creates the pulse, it creates the pressure, it's his heart, says Dr. Bartley Griffith, the director of the transplant program at the medical center. It's working and it looks normal. We're thrilled, but we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. There has never been done before. Last year, some 41,000 Americans received transplanted organ, more than half of them receiving kidneys, according to United Network for Organ Sharing. A nonprofit coordinates the nation's organ procurement efforts. But there's an acute shortage of organs. About a dozen people on the list die each day. Some 3,817 Americans received a human donor hearts last year as replacement, more than ever before, but the potential demand is still higher. Scientists have worked feverishly to develop pigs whose organs would not be rejected by a human body. Research accelerated in the past decade by new gene editing and cloning techniques. The heart transplant comes just months after surgeons in New York successfully attached the kidney of a genetically altered pig to a brain-dead person. Researchers hope procedures like this will usher in a new era in medicine in the future when replacement organs are no longer in short supply for more than 500,000 Americans who are waiting for kidneys and other organs. This is a watershed event. Wow. Doors are starting to open. He added there are many hurdles to overcome before such procedure could be broadly applied, noting that rejection of organs occurs even in a well-matched human donor kidney is transplanted. Events like these can be dramatized in the press, and it's important to maintain perspective. It takes a long time to mature a therapy like this. Mr. Bennett decided to gamble on the experimental treatment because he would have died without a new heart, had exhausted other treatments, and was too sick to qualify for a human donor. His prognosis is uncertain. He is still connected to a heart-lung bypass machine, which was keeping him alive before the transplant. But it's not unusual for new heart transplant recipient, expert says. The new heart is functioning and already doing most of the work. The doctor says he could be taken off the machine on Tuesday. Mr. Bennett is being closely monitored for signs his body is beginning to reject a new organ, but the first 48 hours, which are critical, passed without incident. He is also being monitored for infections, including porcine retrovirus, a pig virus that may be transmitted to humans, although the risk is considered low. It was either die or do this transplant, Mr. Bennett said. I want to live. I know it's a shot in the dark, but it's my last choice. Dr. Griffith said he first approached the experimental treatment in mid-December, a memorable and pretty strange conversation. I said, we can give you a human heart. Oh, we can't give you a human heart. You don't qualify. But maybe we can use one from an animal, a pig. It's never been done before. I think we can do it. I wasn't sure he was understanding me, Dr. Griffith noted. And then he said, well, will I oink? Xenotransplantation, the process of grafting or transplanting organs or tissues from animals to humans, has a long history of efforts. In the 1960s, chimpanzee kidneys were transplanted into some humans, but the longest a recipient lived was 9 months. Oh, it was a baboon heart. In 1983, a baboon heart was transplanted into an infant known as Baby Faye, but she died 20 days later. That's what I was remembering. Pigs offer advantages over primates for organ procurements because they are easier to raise and achieve human size in 6 months. Pig heart valves are routinely transplanted into humans, and some patients with diabetes have received porcine pancreas cells. Pig skin has been used as a temporary graft for burn patients. Two newer technologies, gene editing and cloning, have yielded genetically altered pig organs less likely to be rejected. This is interesting, but I think I'm going to stop reading this incredibly long article there. Trump challenges suits over U.S. Capitol riot, arguing his fiery speech was official act. Robert Durst, real estate's scion, convicted as a killer, dies at 78. The Perseverance rover has a little pebble problem. Uh-oh. Disclosure or deception? New UFO Pentagon office divides believers. When will 1883 episode 5 appear on Paramount Plus? Season 4 finale of Yellowstone, which everybody, I don't think everybody should be watching, but you should at least check on. Yellowstone's pretty good. The prequel, 1883. January 16th. Okay. New episodes debut weekly Sunday mornings on Paramount Plus. They're usually added at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight. Okay.
Give me some socks.
Oh, poor Sassy. What do we got? Dan Ben says, Bird of Prey, do you enjoy eating food that have more than one type of meat in it? Dan Ben, I used to, but these days I have to keep my salt low, so I really can't think of many foods that have more than one type of meat in it. I suppose I might occasionally eat a cold cut sandwich with low sodium cold cuts. Dan Ben says, I thought bacon rashers were the name for the rectangles, and they asked how many you want. Actor says that doesn't count as a spam joke. Someone is radioactive, says Kronos. Well, from what I saw, bananas are radioactive. Oh, that's right. The potassium substitute in salt substitute is highly radioactive. Compared to background radiation. But that said, I don't use salt substitute. So it doesn't really affect me.
Where's my son? You want cooking? Give me my son. I am negotiating with son.
You're negotiating with Sassy. Did I never get off dear Bop? Son of a bitch. I'm so sorry, people. You need to call me out on it. What's going on? What's going on with this UFO stuff?
What did you decide?
The U.S. government is finally getting back into the UFO business. And depending on which UFO believer you ask, it's either a historic step forward or a ploy to regain control of the narrative and possibly even prepare for interplanetary war. This is why we needed the Space Force. It's all making sense now. The interplanetary war is coming, and I say it can't get here soon enough. I cannot wait for President Biden to take us into a war with Planet 9. I'm for it. I am all for it. Kronos has tried the fake salt. It's evil. It's evil. Well, banana peels. Banana peels are even more radioactive. Why Star Trek made San Francisco the center of the universe? It's a good question. Clearly, they didn't know what it was going to become. Okay. Also, bullshit. The Enterprise never came down by the San Francisco Bridge. Not this shit. Not ever. No, didn't happen. And those are not rockets. They're warp nacelles. And I don't know what the fuck is shooting out the back of the engineering section. The camera rises over a familiar San Francisco site. The Golden Gate Bridge in all its red-orange glory, spanning the mouth of the bay and rolling Marin headlands in the background. Streetcar stretched across it, a high-speed tram system of some sort. Gone are the 6 narrow lanes, and in their place, a shining chrome tube for a futuristic mass transit system. A flying shuttle appears in the shot, zipping past the Golden Gate spires. This isn't San Francisco of 2021. It's the San Francisco of the 23rd century. And according to Star Trek lore, it's the one city in the solar system that the Intergalactic Naval Force Starfleet chose for its headquarters. When I was a child growing up a few hours south of San Francisco, I felt it only natural this city should be the center of the Star Trek universe. It was the center of my own universe, after all. The place my friends and I orbited as a small-town artsy kids yearning for a big city and people who understood us. Wow, you already sound like such a loser. But as I grew up, I realized just how small San Francisco was compared to so many other cities. Just 49 square miles. Fewer than 1 million residents. I wondered how this small city became the central to one of the most enduring science fiction works of the 20th century. The simple answer is that Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry loved San Francisco. San Francisco had special appeal to Roddenberry because it's a Navy town, says San Francisco State University film studies professor Daniel Bernardi, who wrote Star Trek and History, Racing Toward a White Future. Oh my fucking God. What? Daniel Bernardi, who wrote Star Trek and History, Racing, oh, I see, because he's putting a play on the race, Racing Toward a White Future. Roddenberry fought in the Pacific Theater in World War II as a pilot and shipped out from California. The technology of Starfleet may be futuristic, but the elements of starships like the builder's plaque and the boatswain whistle are grounded in real military symbols and technology, making major naval civil headquarters for Roddenberry Space Fleet adds an element of realism to the science fiction. On top of that, San Francisco is a beautiful city with a major recognizable landmark, great for letting TV viewers know when an episode takes us from far-flung reaches of the cosmos back to Earth. But there are other naval cities and other major Earth landmarks. What really made San Francisco special, Bernardi says, was its progressivism and diversity. Roddenberry was a liberal humanist, and San Francisco, out of all American cities in the 1960s, best captured the issues Roddenberry wanted to delve into the show. It was a hub for the civil rights and anti-war movements, says Bernardi, who studied at Roddenberry's papers, which are collected at UCLA. I would speculate that he saw it as a city that symbolized the kind of tensions and optimistic future he wanted to depict in Star Trek. Different people, different aliens in other worlds, coming together, struggling on a ship, i.e. San Francisco. Over the decades, Star Trek returned and expanded upon its version of San Francisco. Helmsman Hikaru Sulu, played by George Takei, was born in the city. The original Starship Enterprise was canonically built at the Mare Island Shipyard in 2161. The Charter of the United Federation of Planets was signed in San Francisco, just as the Charter of the United Nations was signed there in 1945. Another San Francisco fact that may have endeared Roddenberry to the city. The Golden Gate Bridge has been destroyed and rebuilt in the series. With the crew of Discovery visits the 32nd century, Earth makes it a point of visiting Starfleet Academy and what looks like the Marin Headlands to hug a tree. And what I would argue is the absolute best Star Trek movie. Okay. I can't argue with this. The cast of the original series lands a Klingon ship in Golden Gate Park and spends 122 minutes gallivanting around 1980 San Francisco in order to bring a pair of whales to the future. Though you, like me, might scream at the screen when Kirk and Spock walk through a Sausalito that is clearly the Presidio, as they discuss how they're going to get back to San Francisco. Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares. Bernardi says San Francisco's longevity as a major city in Star Trek through the years is an example of how newer showrunners and writers, being faithful to Roddenberry's vision, but as times change, concern of Star Trek's humanist foundation also changed. While the original 1960s series was notable for featuring Russian, Japanese, and American characters serving together, Star Trek The Next Generation instead focused on humans serving on the bridge with Klingons. Klingons, now played by black actors, became metaphors for African Americans. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. And they weren't only played by African Americans. What? Bernardi says, reflecting on the racial tensions of 1980s America. But in each new iteration, Star Trek still preaches that mankind can overcome all the ills of the world by working together, Bernardi says. There's an iconic symbol represent humanism, and San Francisco is one of them. The Golden Gate Bridge is an ideal icon of San Francisco, which is the city that represents humanism in its most significant ways. Just as San Francisco is a symbol of Star Trek's humanist ethos, the show is the mirror of the city's troubles. And San Francisco has become gentrified and more dominated by the tech sector. The Star Trek universe has become more focused on technology. At times pushed characters of color to the margins. When has it pushed characters of color to the margins? When Geordie LaForge, who was there from season 1, becomes the chief engineer in season 2? Was that pushing? And we get Guinan. Was that pushing people of color to the sidelines, or was it in Deep Space Nine when the captain is black, when his son is black, when his father is black, and his previous wife happened to be black, and his new girlfriend turns out to be black, and only because they say this, they got no credit. No credit. There was some other show got credit from TV Guide for having the first scene that was entirely black actors in a scene in some shitty show on some other shitty network talking about, bullshit. And no, okay, first, the Cosby Show has been out for God knows how long. So don't tell me there was never a scene that was just black actors. But if you have to be an hour-long drama, DS9 did it before. Because you had many scenes with just Cisco and Jake, or even Cisco, Jake, and his father. Cisco, Jake, Cisco, Jake, and it doesn't matter. And Worf or any other black actor. There were plenty. Yeah. Bernardi said he pointed specifically to Star Trek films of the late 2000s and 2010s by J.J. Abrams, like Star Trek Into Darkness, which drew criticism at the time for recasting the character of Khan, who was canonically from northern India, with an English actor, Benedict Cumberbatch. Fuck you! Okay, there was a lot of problems. A lot of problems with those movies. Least of which was where the fuck Khan was from. Because, hey, alert, Khan was never played by an actor from India. Ricardo Montalban was not an Indian. It becomes even more tech, even more human, and even more white, Bernardi says. I'm not saying there aren't people of color, but they're there, and they're back to the 1960s people of color. Back to the role 1960s people of color portrayed, which was they're there in the background. Fuck you! Uhura wasn't there in the background. You're in the background, Bernardi. Nobody's going to fucking know your name 100 years from today. But people are going to know Nichelle Nichols. Fucking irrelevant motherfuckers. Cumberbatch, whatever the fuck. For a universe that's often lauded as utopian by fans, myself included, Star Trek is still a TV show and still needs conflict. In Star Trek, that conflict often comes from the great power and abundance of Starfleet and the Federation counting people with different ways of life who can't or won't assimilate into the Federation's human-centric ideals. Oh my God. Starfleet's stated aim is to peacefully seek out new life and new civilizations. Yet a reoccurring storylines involve ignorant crew members meddling with unsuspecting peoples. Starfleet literally has the power to create food from thin air with the touch of a button, and yet there are worlds where people starve or fight for resources. Because it's not from thin air. You're an idiot if you think it creates it from thin air. Star Trek is a world in which anyone should be able to have anything they want, anything they need to be happy, comfortable, and safe. And yet there are those who go without it. Right. Because you can't just magically get everything you want for you all the time without learning what to do, without doing work. The contradiction is also apparent from San Francisco, and it's what draws Star Trek writers to the city. No, I don't think it does. I think the shit on the street keeps people out of the city. And the question is why set Starfleet in San Francisco? Here's the deal. You already answered the fucking question. He said it in 1960 San Francisco. Everything since is just because he made that decision. Has nothing to do with San Francisco today. I could say that San Francisco could be, and I would hope it doesn't happen this way, but if, God forbid, San Francisco was destroyed by another earthquake, it would still be set in San Francisco. It's not going to change. It's already been set. It's done. There's no reason to continue asking, why is it set in San Francisco? It's because he made that decision in 1969. You probably didn't exist yet. It's important for people to understand it's because our city represents a kind of humanism, progressivism, that's for all its failures encapsulates Star Trek. No, it doesn't. Your city just represents failure. San Francisco in 2022 only represents failure. I don't see it as a progressive anything. Okay, because if you're telling me that San Francisco is progressivism, then you're scaring everyone away from progressivism. Is that what you want to do? Because you'd have to be a stupid idiot. You'd have to be the kind of idiot that gets hit in the face with a hammer and says, again, please, to think, see San Francisco and say, I want that. Nobody in the world looks at San Francisco and says, I want that. Even the Democrats, the liberals, even the people who San Francisco is supposedly for have looked around and said, shit, we better get the fuck out of here. Okay? They're leaving all over. They're going to Arizona. They're going to Texas. They're going to Utah. They already filled up Oregon and Washington. They're going to Montana. They're going everywhere they can. All places, beautiful, beautiful places. And they're leaving San Francisco because it is a failure. You have gangs stealing, just stealing everything. That's because nobody's going after them. The police can't fight them. They've just given up. People shitting on the streets. Here's an app. You can report it. Here's an app. You can report the shit. Okay, don't try to touch it. It's probably got needles in it. You'll probably give yourself AIDS if you try to clean it up by yourself. So here's an act. Here's what your city can do for you. Where city can't clean it up, it can't arrest the people shitting in the streets, it can't stop the people from shitting in the streets. We can give you an app. You can take a picture of the shit. It will be sent to somebody who will look at the picture of the shit, and they will put it up against. We have 10 different shits in our office. They compare it to, so then they can put it on our list of priority, shit priority. Is it gooey, loose? Is it hard and soft, hard and dry? They can match it to this priority, and then they put the paper into the priority list, and then we'll send someone out, and they will take a second picture to make sure it corresponds with the first picture. Now, if the shit has already been moved, they'll erase it from the system. If somebody else has shit on the shit, then they have to add another form and send it back. And if it's in the same place, they'll take a second picture. It'll be reassessed, and after the third picture has confirmed that is the correct piece of shit, then we'll send out a crew in 7 to 10 days to pick up the shit. But if the shit, when they get there, the shit has changed again, it starts from the beginning again. And that's how the process works. Or, and I'm just saying this, you could pick it up yourself, but if you pick it up yourself and you get stung with a needle, don't come to us. We told you to use the app. That's what it is. The question is why, said Starfleet in San Francisco. In one of Star Trek's most memorable political episodes, the 1994 two-parter Past Tense, 3 members of Deep Space Nine's crew are sent back in time to San Francisco in 2024. The city is portrayed as a place of immense wealth disparity and inequality. While the white woman in the crew hobnobs with the rich elite of the city, the 2 men of color are herded into a sanctuary district Where did I go? There it is. The 2 men of color. What? Oh, they're calling Bashir a man of color. He looked pretty white. I know he's technically Middle Eastern. But I gotta say, he looked pretty damn white on the show. Yes, Mama Pratt.
What?
I know. Well, they're considered white when they need to be. And I guess they're considered people of color when they need to be. Yeah. You also might have mentioned the white woman has spots, lots of spots. Where poor people are put en masse to keep them literally out of sight. The episode feels hauntingly prescient now. But Bernardi says when the episode aired, Star Trek writers were thinking of their own times and issues, namely the Los Angeles uprising uprising in the wake of the acquittal of the officers who beat up Rodney King. Still, those episodes were from the 90s about a then futuristic San Francisco feel timely because they were rooted in reality. San Francisco is brutal to the homeless, brutal to the working poor, Bernardi says. Brutal? Brutal? The city spends $60,000 or something per fucking tent. And there's thousands of tents. There's whole sections of the city where the homeless people are allowed to live. And by allow, I mean nobody fucking bothers them. Okay? If it was brutal to the homeless wouldn't be there. And it's one of the richest cities on the planet, let alone in the country. And it's a progressive city. So how do you reconcile the two? Reconcile it? It's because it's a progressive city, you have homelessness. Because progressivism doesn't mean you fix all your problems. Progressive policies don't work. Not for everything. Yes, people need equality. Yes, I get that. I don't say you should not discriminate against people for their color or their sexual orientation or what languages they speak, as long as they can speak fucking English. If you're a Star Trek creator, you're like, whoa, that's the metaphor I need. That's it. You fucking stupid schmuck, Bernardi. I don't know. Written by Victoria Sepulveda. Is a copy editor writer from California's Central Coast. My God. I'm sorry, Victoria. I didn't realize. I feel like, well, whatever. Whatever. Whatever.
I remember you told me.
What do we got? What do we got? Anything in the chat? Kronos lulled, Berto Prey. He lulled again. B is in the chat. It says bizarre. They must travel outside their gated community if they can't see poor brown people in San Francisco. Well, go out and give them money. Go out. Go out and give these people money. And then they'll be not poor, right? I'm sure you must make good money, Bernardi. Anyway, Victoria, this person wrote the article. Victoria wrote the article. But anyway, with that, guys, we're going to call it a night. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Let's see. I need to. I will see you guys later. Thanks for the chats, the super chats. I appreciate it. The donations, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. For even just for the people who came and chatted, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Keeping that chat going. It keeps it interesting for everybody. Kronos, You probably did half the chats alone. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody else. Commodore Ty, Jedi Bill, B, Captain Vision, Jason Saint, Mike Richards, farewell, the lovely Sherry. Thank you so much, the lovely Sherry, and I hope you didn't take the Green Acres comments personally. But it's been 20 years since I've been there. A lot of things could have changed. Qapla, bird, out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.